Welcome, everybody, to a special edition of Hot Rod Blues podcast. I am your host, Sean Burton. To my right is...
Javier Augustine. This is After Hours.
After Hours.
After Hours.
Okay.
Yeah. Steel Rose Metal Co. Mike Abbott.
Sean Young, Kingfish Metalworks.
And Matt Marion.
Sexy.
On the ones and twos.
Yeah. Yeah. So we don't have a guest on this one, but we are in a weird spot for us normally. So we are in a furniture market. Like what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that's right, folks. All these cars are furniture that you can buy.
That's right.
That's right. We're going to cut them all up and make them into couches. No, we're down here at World Customs Auto Show down in Tupelo, Mississippi, at the Tupelo Furniture Market.
Yes.
Which I'm well aware of, but we've already talked about that.
That's right.
We're straight back to that.
Yeah, right.
Let me tell you something about myself.
We're right back to that. Yeah, it's all about me, in case you didn't know. But no, we are. Well, Mike, I'll let you take it over. What have we been doing here?
So Harold Sullivan, the promoter of the show, him and his wife, who are fantastic. They contacted me probably about a month and a half ago. Kind of late for this type of thing, but they're fantastic people. They're who contacted me about doing this show before, and they wanted us to come down and do something. So we scrambled to figure out who had what cars and what we were going to do. And Joel at Oddballs Customs, Joel Booker, he had this Buick, 49 Buick. He sent me a picture, and I looked at it, and I was like, man, that could be a cool car to do. So I called him and I said, man, I'm down with doing that car. One stipulation. Hold on. What do we got going on over here?
I don't know what that is.
What's happening?
I think they're going to clean the
Closing
floors.
the door. That's a door.
They're closing the big door.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Don't mind that big door sound in the background.
Yeah.
We are here after hours.
Actually, this is the quietest podcast that we've done today. So normally it's you guys back there like doing.
Yeah.
Which you heard how loud that is, by the way.
Yeah. You should hear a grinder.
Yeah, a grinder or a sawzall. Yeah, it's super.
Progress
super.
doesn't stop for you, man.
Right.
So that's right. So I contacted Joel and said, hey, man, I'm down with doing that car. Let's do a chop. One stipulation, you have to let me take it from a 4-door to a 2-door. And Joel is pretty fond of 4-doors, and there was some hesitation there, but he got back to me and said, yeah, man, let's do it. So
yeah,
that's where we sat.
And there it is.
So yeah,
It's actually sitting as a 2-door now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, do you guys have that on video?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, so
You
they're
guys are-
looking at. So
Camera
they're
3.
looking at it right now.
Yeah.
So so it's 4 inches in the front.
Yeah. We chopped it 4 inches in the front. It's actually the exact reverse of what we normally do. So normally we'll chop it, 4.5 inches in the front, and then we try to get somewhere around 6 or 6.5 in the back. But as we've said in a number of things that we've done prior to this, that back window really limits. And we were pretty hell-bent that we wanted to keep the factory back glass, so that limited us. So the back only wound up 3 inches, which is generally considered a California chop, to where you chop the front more than the back.
Wait a minute.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
Wait, that means that Mike Abbott is doing something California-esque.
Yeah.
He's fighting his
Oh
tooth and nail.
no! Right?
Yeah.
No, that's what they normally call it. We call it something different.
Yeah,
here.
that's right. That's right.
It's the Mississippi
Hold
chop.
on. We're taking it back. That's the Memphis chop.
Yeah,
Memphis
We're
chop.
taking it back.
taking it back.
That's right. We're not calling it a
hilarious.
California chop ever
Yeah.
again. It's going to be the Memphis chop.
Yeah.
Or the Tupelo front low, as we like to call it.
Yes, yes.
And of course, the craziest part about about doing this particular build is that you had to going from 4-door to 2-door, you had to take some of the section out of the rear door, put it into the front door, move the B pillar, all that kind of stuff. So it's been pretty nuts.
Yeah.
You ever done anything like that before?
Yeah. I've taken 4 doors and made them 2 doors before.
Yeah.
Normally, you're not doing it in 3 days, and normally you're not also chopping the vehicle at the exact same time. So as far as chopping one the way that we're chopping it and taking a 4-door, no, this is number one the first time that I've, especially in this time frame that we're working with. But all you guys, everybody on hand that jump in and do this stuff, man, you guys are fantastic, and that's the reason why stuff like this is possible.
Yeah, for sure. And I think we should probably give a shout out to some of the guys that we're working on it. Obviously, it's Joel Booker's car.
Yes.
And his wife Crystal. We've got Javier's been working on it like crazy.
Bomber Steel Cup.
Javier Carrasco.
I don't have a banner next time.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's right.
I can help you out with that. I know
you know a guy.
I know a guy.
If only Sean knew that guy the day before that guy got a discount.
I know. I didn't know you knew a guy.
I loved watching that text, by the way. As somebody who had no monetary investment in what y'all were doing.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I get a discount at this place. Oh, dope.
Yes.
Sean goes, I could have known if I put a big order in yesterday, so then thanks for that.
Yeah. Dope.
Yeah,
that's what happens.
That's okay.
Yeah,
I'm a vendor now, just so you know.
Yeah, right.
But obviously, Matt Marion has been doing a lot of work as well.
Yes.
Probably the two big boys, I guess, would be the captains more or less. Would be Greg Boren. Greg Boren was kind of in charge of the doors.
Yeah. Matt Marion was on Greg's team.
Yeah, and Steve was also on Greg's team, wasn't he? Steve. What's Steve's last name?
Montgomery.
Montgomery.
That's it, dude.
Yeah.
It's on his Facebook thing, but I'm like, you know everybody from one.
Right.
Right.
One word.
Yeah. So,
Powder Coat Steve.
Powder Coat Steve.
Steve.
That's everybody in every industry that we encounter.
Yeah.
You don't know their last
Then
name.
we got-
you either put what they
well-
do in front or
Well, then we got other Matt. I have no idea what his name is. It's just other Matt. That's all I know, right?
Matt Clark.
Yeah,
Matt Clark.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
that's Roadster Matt.
And then
Roadster Matt.
Roadster Matt.
that's right. And then
that might stick, buddy.
right.
Yeah,
right.
it's not a bad one.
That's a good
Yeah.
moniker, I think.
Right, you're right.
The name's Roadster Matt.
Yeah.
Wow.
But then we got
Drive a coupe.
Philip Vickery.
Yeah, Philip Vickery. So he was kind of in charge of the.
He's in charge of the top.
Yeah. The top.
I don't ever make myself we always try and do these things in teams. We'll a lot. Like when we did Matt's car, we had an assembly team that was on the assembly side, and then we had the guys that were doing the chop and the body things of it. But we always try and break it up to where it's not so overwhelming. I never want to be a captain. Especially because, man, I've said it before, and Greg is definitely one of those guys, but Philip Vickery is kind of like, he is my leveler. He's normally involved, and he always keeps me from doing stupid things.
Yeah,
like he's good at that.
He stopped you today on something, right?
I really wanted to flip that back
You
window.
still want to. I know.
I still want to right now.
I think Joel had a lot to do with that, too.
Yeah. So
There's
See,
more.
Joel, I think Joel would have done it, but he would have done it begrudgingly.
Right? Yeah.
There were some compromises he wouldn't do. It seemed like Meatloaf, like he'd do anything for a chop.
Right.
But I won't do that. And what I won't do is not like he could have been talked into the flippy flip, the shoebox transplant. And I'll say it now because we're not doing that.
Yeah.
I feel a little butthurt. I spent a whole afternoon chopping up the rest of a 4-door shoebox to bring. Unbeknownst to him, Joel, you did this. you broke me, man.
That's right. That's right.
I brought it down here and it was going to be this big reveal. Ha ha.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
me and Javier kind of we
pre-planned failure.
we pre-plotted.
So you guys were figuring the back window out of a Ford shoebox, instead of what's there.
It's way easier to lay down flatter.
Okay.
Because of the shape of it.
Yeah, it's the radius on the curve of the glass. The compromise you do when you're doing a bigger body car. Like I'm just a super big expert, but I know what's visually pleasing. Mercury's this type of vehicle, those bomber type vehicles from the 30s and 40s, they're just so big in the window on the rear, and it would be like a Victoria. It just the compromise is you shrink the window because the shoebox is not as much to deal with, and the curve doesn't wrap around the
right.
sail
Yeah,
panel.
because when you shorten one, you move that window forward.
Right.
You're moving the whole window, that whole wraparound.
and you're negotiating with the
Yeah.
car and visually,
Yeah.
how that is going to all lay. Like you're making that compromise with the car lines
Right.
every time.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So and this one was the rear window was pretty difficult on this one.
Yeah.
To get that line proper, but we like challenging. I mean, that's the whole reason why we did this whole thing. Like it's always a matter of like, how can we raise the bar every time we do this?
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, we'll find the point that we fail. And
I'm
looking forward to that.
I'm gonna be there for that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
And
I want to find where
well,
we're gonna fail.
And it's how we're gonna fail, which is with our faces straight and our chins up. Because
I hope miserably.
No,
I hope
I mean
we
it's
fail
gonna be a disaster. And I said it earlier. Like we're gonna bite off more than we can chew, and that's
right.
how it happens.
Yeah.
But we're gonna be frustrated. But at the end of the day, we're gonna be like, I don't see anybody else trying this.
That's
because
right.
that's how big
Right.
that failure is gonna be.
For sure.
Fail big, but don't get anybody hurt.
No.
You hear that,
no.
America?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So
That's it.
And I mean, how do you know your lines unless you push the limitations? That's the goal, is pushing limitations. And inspiring people along the way. I have to say that, like, yesterday was kind of rough. We had some people complaining and stuff like that about what we were doing. No.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody on our man.
Yeah.
That's one of the things about our team.
I was like,
Our
that's not our team.
Yeah.
It wasn't my team.
Yeah, that's right. Our team is fantastic. But we had some people at the show complaining, and rightfully so. They spend a lot of money on their paint jobs, and we are blowing dust all over the place. We did our best to alleviate that. So I was kind of a little down in the dumps yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, man, normally
Well, you do
people
feel
are
bad.
stoked
You do
about
feel
this.
bad because anything that, as a
Yeah.
person who
Yeah.
cares about other persons.
Yeah.
When somebody has a complaint, you're like, "Oh, did I do that? I caused
Right,
it." You do the
right.
whole Steve Urkel thing,
Yeah.
but not like so jokingly. Did
Right.
I do that?
Right.
Like, you're like,
yeah.
okay, so you're unhappy because of some stuff I'm doing.
Right.
Man,
Yeah.
we were asked to do this stuff, and this is the only way this stuff happens.
Well, our hands are kind of tied.
Exactly.
Like, we came here for a purpose, and we have to do that at
Yeah.
the end of the day.
Yeah.
But today, on the other hand, man, today was
We
fantastic.
had a lot of people come through.
It was fantastic, and that kid.
There's a couple kids,
William.
but there was
was a couple.
there was a standout.
Yeah, that kid.
William,
Oh my
9-year-old.
gosh. He was unreal, man.
Yeah.
Like, he just kind of rolled up, and he had this little chair with him, this little stool that he'd been carrying around.
Did you see him when he first got here? He started out in the rear.
Yeah,
The chair was in the back.
yeah,
And then
Oh, he's moving.
And then boom, he was right up on the.
Yeah.
He was right
Yeah,
up
and
on
I
the
went
front.
Before you
out
know
there-
it, he's holding your welder.
yeah. I went out there to sit down, really to just look at the car from a distance, and I sitting down, and I always like shoot up conversation with the people that are in there. What do you think about it? And this and that. And man, that kid came from behind me with that little stool, set it down right beside me, and he's like, "Hey, you were working on that car," and man, he just started popping it off. You ever heard of Ed Roth? I'm like, what?
What?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
You're a 9-year-old?
yeah. I'm like, yeah, I've heard of Ed Roth. You like Ed Roth? He's like, yeah. What's your favorite car? I'm like, man, I don't really know the name, but it's the motorcycle hauler. And he was like, I've never seen that. I said, well, I'll find it. What's your favorite car? It's like the Beatnik Bandit. I'm like,
All right, look at that.
what?
Right on.
like,
You check his ear for an earpiece. You're
yeah, like,
I'm being punked right now.
it was unreal. And I mean, he just started rattling stuff up. Like, this kid was in it.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was.
In it.
There's no faking the fun. Like
so-
yeah.
And he was nonstop too, man. I mean, like, so yeah. So,
In it.
So you guys, Mike brought him back behind and showed him how to do some things. Had him working a ratchet, right? Whatever. And the kid like talked nonstop. I mean, he was just.
he talked himself into front and center. He winds up B-rolling the edit.
Yeah.
Mike,
yeah,
finish
right.
telling the story about how we left this kid.
First, I was going to ask, did he like and subscribe?
You know what?
I don't know.
You know what?
I don't know if he did. He's 9.
You know
Maybe
what?
he
Let's,
might.
maybe we should
Yeah.
stop talking about it.
Yeah, I was
I
gonna
don't
say,
know.
don't
But-
worry. He's got the
support
sticker.
those who
He'll
support
be
you.
a-
Hold
he'll
on,
be
I
there.
will tell you this. He told me straight up that he spends hours a day on YouTube watching car builders, watching
Yes.
anything Ed Roth, anything rat thing.
I wish that kid would find us.
Yeah,
I would interact with that kid all the time on the thing.
He
He
will.
studies it. I mean, he is a study.
Yeah,
of
so he
what-
was here with his grandparents.
Yeah.
And his granddad is car guy.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not sure if his parents are car people, but I get the idea that they are.
Right.
And granddad for
Definitely.
sure is.
Yeah.
And grandma was there.
Very
and she
supportive.
was like, they were so nice. I mean, like to
Yeah.
me, they were just so super supportive, and
Yeah.
and they were so excited about what was happening there. It
Yeah.
was just really, really cool.
It was.
And so it's I'll speak for Mike. So Mike, and sorry about that. Didn't mean I hit it with my hand. I was making sure to keep my knee away from the table. But
I just wanted
still
an
hit-
excuse to touch your leg.
Yeah. But so the kid was so into Ed Roth and those kinds of things that Mike had started rolling Rat Fink. Just a RF yesterday, and we had actually talked yesterday about like, oh, what should we do with this? Should we just do a raffle or whatever, just a door prize name, whatever.
I
and,
knew,
like,
back to him being frustrated.
Yeah.
Yes, I knew he was upset because this was around the same time that was happening, and I can always tell when Mike is kind of he doesn't get upset. Mike doesn't get upset. He does. Everyone does. But like when we're doing something like this, very reserved. But I could tell it was under his skin what we were all appreciating, which was the desk thing. And what are you going to do with that? And Sean says, what are you going to do with that? Raffle it away or give it away or door prize it? He goes, I don't know. I might finish it. Maybe I'll fold it up and throw it in the trash. I don't know. I was like I'm over here like with a grinder, and I heard that. I was like, he's upset. I don't know who's getting his gizzard.
He's just doing it to take care of
This is why I'm on the build
frustration.
team.
Yeah.
But it's kind of how the way it works. You just kind of set something to the side, and next thing you know, there's that. And that happened
kid.
last time.
Perfect.
One of the guys that's been watching us a whole lot, I can't remember his name, and if you watch us, excuse me that I can't remember your name. But it was kind of the same deal. He's watching bead rolling, and I'm trying to show techniques, and just make it interesting for people. He's like, man, I did an RF last year too.
Yeah.
He's like, man, that rapping thing is cool. I'm like, yeah. You did into Ed Roth, and we just start kind of jiving a little bit. He's like, yeah. And he pulls up his arm, and he's got an Ed Roth tattoo. I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure this should be yours.
That guy. Yeah.
Well, it's like back to that, the whole universe thing. You were half in on that, because you started that before that complaint came in.
Right.
Yeah.
And you were so frustrated you stopped.
Right.
Like as you should if you're working on something like that. But if you hadn't have stopped, you wouldn't have had it ready for this kid. So really,
that's how it
was
works.
Was the universe being mean at the moment, or was
No.
it just setting you up?
The
that's right. That's exactly
the
right.
coolest part though was that you worked with him to finish it off.
Yeah.
Man,
He did it.
He laid the last
And,
beat roll down.
Yeah,
on
he
that thing.
laid quite a few little things on there, and that's really cool. I mean, the kid did great.
He'll
For a
have that thing
9-year-old,
forever,
I mean,
man.
Oh, yeah. Epic.
Dude, I mean, if I
Made
did
my
some-
whole day.
Oh,
Yeah.
the
That
only-
thing
made
right
mine.
there. I was like,
I'm telling you,
made Rod's day for sure.
yeah.
I think the ultimate for all of us is one
Yeah.
day we get to see that hanging in his
Yeah.
shop, and he's doing things like this.
Yeah.
And it will.
I hope so.
I think it will. That kid will.
I was going to say, speaking of, we did not finish off the rest of the group, by the way, which I feel bad about that now that I said Rod. So
Yeah.
Rod Short came all the way down from Kentucky.
From Kentucky.
Yeah, I can't remember I can't remember where he lives. The little town in Kentucky.
Newbern.
Somebody knows it.
Newbern,
that's it.
Kentucky,
There
yeah.
you go. So he came down pretty much last week, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah,
he's
he's
been
been
in
a
town
minute.
for a while.
Yeah.
And came down and worked with us. He's been hammering away helping Greg a
Yeah.
lot. Who else have we? Who
Big
else
movie
are
star
we not
name.
thinking about?
That guy.
Yeah, Steve.
I've never told him that. Rod Austin,
Right.
starring Rod Austin.
Sounds like not the kind of movie.
I
you
didn't
should
say
be
what kind of
promoting.
movie.
Is it Rod Austin? Yeah, I said
almost
Rod
like a Ron
Short,
Jeremy.
didn't I?
Rod.
Yeah.
Rod
Sorry. I used to
Boogie
work
Nights
with
2023. Rod Austin.
Rod
starring.
Austin. It is. Yeah. So, all right. Is there anybody else we're missing? that we need to give a shout out
Chad
to?
Wiseman, how you doing?
Chad
How you
Wiseman.
doing?
Oh
Where you at,
no,
buddy?
we're not giving Chad a
He showed up
Yeah.
all day and helped us set
kidding
Oh,
me?
up.
all right, fine.
Look at the pictures.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. right.
He's in every one of the pictures.
with the back of his head.
Hey, Chad.
Poor Chad.
Sorry, Chad. Sorry, man.
Is he coming tomorrow?
I
He
don't
can't
know.
make it, but he was wearing
He was wearing the red shirt today.
The
Oh,
Edge
cool.
Your Chop.
Was he?
He was
Yeah.
wearing that shirt.
Oh, the legends, the black
he
legends.
sat there and
Okay.
watched football all day, drinking beer, wearing that.
Drinking beer, watching football all day, being like,
bring me
sorry,
another beer.
sorry, I couldn't be there, guys. Yeah.
So we should mention, if you go to our Facebook page, there's a lot of go lives that show exactly what's happened here.
Absolutely,
Right.
yeah, we've done
Yep.
a bunch,
And maybe watch it and set it to alert you when we go live.
You
Yeah.
could ring
Hey.
the bell.
ring the bell thingy. Well, I think the ring the bell thing is
That's on YouTube. Yeah, it
yeah.
is. Yeah.
But either way,
It
just
does-
go.
well, it
just
does
go to
pop
our
up.
Facebook page. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
enough
and
self-promotion.
Facebook
All right.
will notify you when we go live if you follow our page on Facebook. So.
And your notifications.
And if you have not seen this guy's hat, it is epic.
It
What
is
a
this?
great hat. It's a
Where
good
is this
hat.
So
pin
is
on
this
the
a new
side?
hat?
Huh?
What's
yeah,
that pin?
this is a Christmas present from my dad.
Yeah,
It's a Stetson. It's
Epic.
a
See how he sets it up where you can't talk crap about it?
dude. I know. I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
yeah.
from your dad.
Well, it's weird because
It's cool though. Your dad knows hats because
Well-
like that fits you really well.
The whole thing about this is a style of cowboy hat, and it's called the open road.
That's right.
And I've seen these my entire life, and it's the cool thing about getting old is you can wear goofy hats and you don't look out of place. So there
No,
you go.
that's Hank Williams Sr.'s manager used to. wear
He
that.
did.
No, I know he did.
Hank Williams.
And Hank Williams did
yeah,
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the I think the maybe the JFK, not the JFK, but the oh gosh, who was the president after JFK?
Who
Reagan?
cares?
No, not
Reagan
was
Roosevelt.
80s.
No. Who came after Roosevelt?
We were really showing our
I know,
Oh
right?
my God! Yeah, I should have paid attention in
Bad,
civics.
right?
JFK, and was
I
it
don't
not?
know.
Was it
After JFK?
Huh?
No, it was.
Yes, the guy that took over after JFK.
Man,
He was a Texan.
We
it's
are
9
terrible
o'clock. I
Americans.
would say it's
Yeah.
9 o'clock at night.
I
I
know,
can't.
but-
If
I
only
can't
there was a
do-
machine.
So, right? History. Go for
Hold
it.
on.
Yeah, that's
You
isn't that why we? Isn't that why we have a?
talk amongst
I was
yourselves?
gonna say, isn't that why we have a production guy over here?
Yeah.
Isn't that what he's
Look,
supposed to be doing?
Matt
Like,
is
while
just
we're-
as exhausted as us.
I want to say Roosevelt, but it's not. He's the guy I'm thinking about
Also-
started Vietnam.
Hold on, I want
He's
to give
that guy.
I want to give a shout out also
Yeah, I
to
should know
Hutch for inviting
Yes.
us to dinner. That place
Oh,
was epic.
How about it?
Oh, my gosh.
Nautical whimsy.
Oh, wow.
If you guys come, if anyone ever comes down to Tupelo, if you're even if you're up in Memphis and
Lyndon
you're
B.
thinking,
Johnson.
where should we go to eat?
LBJ.
Drive
To
drive
Tupelo.
to Tupelo to Nautical Whimsy.
Yes.
I know it sounds crazy. Nautical Whimsy, you're like, oh, what is it? Some kind of sailor place or whatever? But
Yeah.
it is Italian food and steaks.
In a basement.
In a basement.
Well, we were in the basement, which is rightfully so. They should put us in the basement.
Yes.
But yeah, though they have the best food. Like we didn't get one, but the meatball appetizers like that is like a pound of meat, and then
That's some big balls.
yeah, right. Well, so the big balls are the
You're singing ACDC?
Yeah, I was gonna say, the big balls are the
Cheese.
yeah,
Mozzarella
fried cheese.
cheese.
Yes. That's like
Which equates out to a
That big
government-sized block of cheese
Yeah,
that they
pretty
roll in
much.
panko crust. And then they tell you...
but better quality.
They are.
than that.
It
I'm
is
not
good.
saying they're
Yeah,
bad.
I know. I'm just saying.
Just giving
yeah,
you proportions.
Right. Yeah. I just didn't
Imagine
want anybody to
that,
think
but
it's
delicious.
government cheese. It's all
Oh,
rolled
yeah.
up in there.
There's nothing wrong with good.
I love commodity.
Spoken
crust.
like
Hold
a
on.
guy who's never eaten government
Yeah.
cheese.
Say sorry, I wasn't going there.
It helped us to grow big and strong.
Is that what it
Don't
is?
hate on government cheese.
It's got
Young
fructose
kids.
in it. It's
That's
good for
yummy.
you.
Well, anyway, so tomorrow.
Anyways, poor
Yeah.
people talk.
Back to us. No. Nautical whimsy. Good to go. No, so tomorrow we've got a lot of finishing to do on this thing.
Yes.
I assume that tomorrow is a lot of time around that back window.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is a lot, and it's not just a lot of time around the back window. So in stretching the front doors and shrinking the back doors, it comes with its own loop of problems because there's door gaps, and especially in 1949, there's excessive door gaps, and you're trying to close those up. Which of course, if you cut 5 inches out of the back, right? Common sense would tell you put 5 inches back in the front, and everything is good.
That's not how that works.
Except for you're not thinking about
math.
the half-inch gap that was in the door.
That
Right?
stack
So you do
up.
half inch. Now we're 1 inch difference. Then you do another half inch, now we're
And
or
you're not-
2 inches difference. So we're winding up bridging gaps between doors on the back panels to make all that solid, and making up a bunch of little minute differences just on the door sections alone. But then we also got a ton of handmade panels that got to get seamed in there and shaped and built as nice as possible. In fact, everybody is really excited about the progress, but of course, in my mind, we're always behind the game. So,
Well, that's probably because that's reality. Really.
that's right.
Right.
That's right.
But
Yeah. We're good at pulling it out in the ninth
It's a
inning.
3-day show, man.
Yeah.
You're doing 8 weeks worth of work in 3 days.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
But, like I say, the guys that help us are fantastic, and we always pull it out in the ninth inning.
Yeah.
It might be the ninth inning
it
and
ninth
2 hours late.
Oh, we shut them down.
No. We got a long way to go to get home. We
Yeah.
got a lot of crap to
It
pack
doesn't
up.
matter.
To get
I'm
out
just
of here
saying,
too.
I don't accept failure easy.
I know. I know. We'll get there. I think you guys will get there.
Today,
so,
this
too.
is not the show where we fail.
I didn't.
This is not
I
the
didn't.
show
I
where
didn't
we're
assume that you guys would have quit this early, but I guess everybody was so full, and
Well, I mean, you get to a point to where you keep going, and we were. Everybody was still
the
gun-ho,
energy,
keep
the energy
going, keep
start,
going,
pick
keep
back
going.
up.
Yeah.
The problem is you get to such a point to where you've looked at something so long that you start making stupid mistakes
Or rushing
because you're just trying to get this next thing done.
what did Hobby do this time?
I didn't know.
Nothing. No, I was at that point. We were setting up the B pillars, and I'm
Talk him
like,
off the ledge. Bro.
yeah, and I'm like tacking things, and then I'm trying to twist things, and I'm like, we got to stop. It's done. It's over. We're done. Let's shut the music down. We're all to that point, and we still have a very full day tomorrow. So
Yeah.
we work till 1:00 in the morning. Everybody's going to be here at 9:15, like you were, and then
I'd like to take a minute to discuss what happened before Sean got here. Late. It doesn't matter.
Let's talk about that. Tell
I
us out here.
got here before things were chopped. I got here at the time that I needed.
You weren't
to be
here. You're not
So
allowed to
it was-
talk about what happened before you were here. So there we were. Everybody was here on time.
set the stage.
Set the stage. It's not really that complicated. Sean wasn't here. Somebody popped bebop through. Was it you? Who? I don't know who. It doesn't matter.
I don't know.
Somebody's walking by like. "Oh,
So nobody's gonna take.
you're not talking right now,
responsibility."
guy who wasn't here.
Yeah. Yeah, but nobody's gonna take responsibility
You just can't
for
let
what's
it go.
about to happen.
No,
is what
I'll
I'm
take.
saying.
Okay, it was me. We're gonna bet on what time you're.
Exactly.
We're gonna bet on what time Sean's not gonna be here. That's the bet.
Yeah.
Now we had to put some qualifiers in there because there was some. You would be saddened to hear how late the actual numbers started off. Noon was the first bet, and everyone was like, "I don't know. He's a professional. He's probably." 11:45.
I gave you the earliest bet.
Yeah.
I did.
So we're taking bets, and it's a gentleman's bet, $1, and the pot goes to the winner. And I'm excited because
They
that's
screwed me.
at least $10. That's gonna buy lunch.
I got.
So
you get got?
you didn't get got. Let me explain. Because I knew, and this is where the qualifier came in. Somebody said, "It's like The Price is Right. I'll bid $1." And I was like, "Well, that's not going to work because the lowest guy is going to win, whether he's way off or whatever. You got to put it over under a 5-minute qualifier."
I missed that part. They discussed that without me.
It's funny how the guy that would have won missed to that.
So hold on.
So who did win?
Nobody
Nobody
paid me
won.
then.
Nobody won.
Why?
Because there was an over/under 5-minute qualifier. He chose 9:15.
no.
Oh, so I wasn't in
No,
anybody's
it
No,
wheel.
was-
9:35 was.
It,
or
no,
9:30.
it was a 10 or a 15 minute. I think over and under.
It was 5.
It was 5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I bet 9:00. You showed up at 9:15, but nobody else bet within 5 minutes of that.
Okay.
Which is why everyone was
nobody won.
excited and then
Nice.
immediately disappointed that nobody won. And then everybody was glad they didn't lose $1. So these games go back and forth.
Hey, Mike, I was actually here. I was just sitting out in the parking lot.
Oh, there was another rule that we couldn't call you or call your wife.
Somebody,
Yes,
I need to see
yeah,
your
that's
phone.
true.
Somebody
That's
text
right.
you.
I got to go to the bathroom real quick. No reason. Wake up, you dumb son.
That's hilarious.
Wake up. I got $10 right now.
Yep.
Yeah, it's actually written on the roof of that car.
I know.
Yeah, it is.
I've got pictures of it. You can post it, Sean.
It actually said. What did it say?
I sent it to my wife, and she just sent back the little emoji that was like this.
What time Sean will get here? It's got the bed. That's a gentleman's bed. Everything's got to be out there.
I sent it to her. And just said, "Guess what this is?" And she was like, "Everybody's bedtime." And I'm like, "Oh, that would be my guess," but I'm like, "No." They were all guessing what time I was going to get here.
How it actually started is I got a Newsies wood crate and I threw it down on the ground. I said, "All right, here, who's got action on Sean?"
We're taking bets.
We're taking bets. Sean, and when I left the hotel, was fast asleep. I knocked on his door incessantly. He told me to go away.
I'm amazingly fast to just get up out of bed and go.
You had a roommate.
I did have a roommate. I feel sorry for my roommate, but that's
sure
okay.
He punched you in the ribs on the way out.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they haven't kicked us out of here.
Nah, man, we're paying customers.
Well, they're trying to lock up doors.
Yeah.
We do have to make this short.
And I do have to drive.
Yeah.
So.
You got to drive all the way back to Memphis.
Well, that's okay. That's just part of the course for him.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just drive at some weird time of whatever.
Yeah. Firefighter.
Yeah.
Anybody want to take bets on what time I get home?
Hey, at least he has a new engine.
Yeah, so Javier's got big stuff happening.
No, I'm just functioning again.
Yeah, just back to normal.
Yeah. No, I guess if you were following the show, you saw the drama with the Jeep. There's no longer a supercharger on it.
Right.
I was able to trade the supercharger for labor to get the new motor put in.
Dig that.
Brand new motor.
Man, that sucker, it was spanking brand new looking.
Yeah.
The motor? It
only
had 48 miles.
48 miles. That's nuts.
That motor came out of a vehicle that got the motor that I wanted, which was a Hellcat Hemi motor. As I do not have $60,000 to have a shop do that, I'm just driving the car.
Wow.
There you go.
Yeah,
that is cool.
American Motor Works.
Dude, that's a cool Jeep, though.
They do the swaps. There's a couple other shops, but you go online right now, $60,000.
Wow.
I think Dakota is another kit.
Yeah.
You can do yourself for $30,000.
So what do they call that? The Helephant? Is that right?
No. That's another.
That's a bigger tier. That's more top tier.
And you can get that in a Jeep?
It's a 426. No, I'm sure somebody will put it in there.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can get the Demon motor, which is a 802 horsepower.
Oh.
You can get a Hellcat, which is supercharged at 707, and then the most popular, which is 392. With I think 400. I don't want to go into that.
I mean, the good part about 392 is you could throw a cam in it and boop, you're right there. Yeah.
Or you could just put it in the Jeep and just drive the wheels off that thing and not have to worry about performance problems.
I bet that's a handful in a Jeep.
Dude, I drove a Jeep with the LS swap in it.
Yeah.
For art and speed, I was going to take pictures of it and stuff.
What year?
2018, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a newer Jeep or whatever. But man, that's crazy in a 4-wheel drive to have that kind of power.
There's not an off the shelf. I looked into that because I was like, I'm not above LS swapping the crap out of this thing. At this point, when the motor went bad, I was like, I'll go to the junkyard or get a crate motor, and I'll do it for that.
Yeah.
They don't have a kit for the JL and JT, which is 2019 and up.
Oh, just new one. Okay,
so the Jeeps run.
I'm like, this was a kit, whatever it was.
Well, but that's the 2018 and down.
Right.
So the problem with Jeep is they run on a CAN bus. So when you're running, if anybody gets into the minutia of the whole thing, when you're taking a GM product and trying to interface it with Dodge, the CAN bus doesn't speak the same language.
Yeah,
so
talk language.
You have to reprogram it and have this interface. And there's a guy in, I don't want to lie where he's at, but there's a guy, I think in Alabama or Florida does these kits, but he hasn't done the interface yet for that year model.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay, it's coming. I'm sure.
Oh, it'll be here.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be here. It's just wasn't on time for me.
There's one thing the aftermarket does is...
So speaking of Rod Austin, we're going to drag him on tomorrow. He will be on this episode.
Yeah.
And we have a couple of surprise guests that are coming in. I don't want to give them away just in case it doesn't happen because it's kind
I'm going to miss it if it does happen.
It could be kind of cool. So one of the guys, without giving too much away, has been a guest before.
Right.
So, but the other one's new. So it's going to be cool.
Yeah.
Definitely.
For sure. I'm going to hate that because if you get that, then I have to wait to see that person.
Yeah.
in person.
I'm sorry.
No, it's gonna be great if I get to see him in person at the place. At the place.
Yeah.
Stay
At the
tuned.
place.
Stay tuned. Follow, like, subscribe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
follow, like,
Right.
subscribe.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
Well,
all right.
let's wrap it up and
Let's
let
get
these
outta here,
people go
boys.
home.
All right, guys. Well, so far, go ahead, Sean. I'm
No, I
sorry.
was just saying.
He's trying to get me to do the
Yeah.
voice.
Please go ahead.
Me. This has been Hot Rod Blues, live on location at the World of Customs in Tupelo, Mississippi.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time.
Goodbye,
Bye.
everybody. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Hot Rod Blues. I'm your host, Sean Burton, along with my boy over here.
This is Sean, also known as Jack Daniels.
Yeah, we got a couple guys with us that have been helping out on the build over here. So we thought we'd bring them over, and they're the unsung guys in the background. But we have one guy that's called Other Matt, right?
Well,
Matt
no,
Clark.
hold on.
What?
So now that the original Matt is Cadillac Matt, Other
Yes.
Matt is just Matt, or he could be Roadster Matt.
Roadster Matt.
Roadster Matt, yeah, okay.
I like that. We'll do Roadster Matt. How's
Roadster
that?
Matt's okay?
I'll own that. Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably better than Other Matt, isn't it?
Yeah,
I'll have to get used to it. Somebody's gonna say Roadster Matt, and I'll still keep doing what I'm doing.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
All right, and the other guy that we have with us is Rod Austin. And Rod, you're from Kentucky,
Western Kentucky.
Western Kentucky. Go ahead and say where it is again.
It's Calhoun, Kentucky.
Calhoun.
Little
Yeah.
small town.
Yep.
Kind of reminds me of Mayberry slightly.
Yeah.
I don't. Anyway, so yeah, they call me. A lot of people call me Hot Rod. So when I see your sticker, Hot Rod Blues, I think, dude, you guys ripped off my name, but it's pretty cool though.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I dig it. It's like part of me is like there, but my actual real name is Rod Austin, and
Yeah.
I like music and I like cars, and so the Hot Rod just seemed to stick.
Yeah. And so you came down just to help out.
I did. I wanted to be a part of this scene because where I live at, I mean, there's gearheaders around where I live, but you don't quite have this kind of organization and this tight of a group pulling off stuff like this. And I'd see it on social media, and I thought, I'd like to be a part of this. And so Greg Boren and his family's been wonderful to host me for the stay down here, and it's been really good.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember you come down with your 57.
That's
Yeah.
what I was
Few
going to
years
ask
ago.
about.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the car, Rod.
All right, so I try not to talk too much because I can like over detail everything. So I'm gonna try to cool up jets and lay back a little bit. But I feel like I owe guys like the story of how I got here.
Yeah.
And so I've been wanting to do a camping trip at Reelfoot Lake for a long time, and I never had. And also, a friend of mine up in southern Indiana, Troy Miller, had Dale Watson at his barn one time playing. Okay, and that was kind of a connection for me. And so I knew Dale had a club in Hernando's, and I'd been wanting to check that out too. So it just seemed to be the right moment, and so I took my camper, got my '57 Chevy wagon. By the way, it's a Beauville wagon. It's a 9-passenger. I was told that was pretty rare before I got it, and I didn't even know it. Didn't even know what I had. Anyway, so I got a vintage camper that I rebuilt, and that's another story that I pulled behind it. And I went to Reelfoot Lake and left early Sunday morning, dropped the camper, and was on a mad dash off for Memphis in a town I'd never been in, didn't know a single person there, but I just felt like the experience was calling me. Yeah. So rolled in hot to Hernando's, and in fact parked right beside you, Sean, because Sean had his 55 there, and he says, "Hey, you can park it right beside mine." And I said, "I'll sure enough take it," because I didn't know really where to park, and I didn't want to step on anybody's toes, because not being from here, and I didn't know anybody, and so I slid it right in there on the front row, and got out and looked around and said, "I'm in Memphis, bitches. I have arrived." And I felt so proud about that because I looked around and thought all that year prior to that. I'd been a little over a year. I'd been working on building my 57, putting it together, and it was, I had visions of it sitting in the shop on jack stands with no A-arms on it, no axle, no engine, and what a contrast that now me and the car, both of them were there. And so Ricky Neal came over to me. He was the next guy, walked over to me, and I don't know what he saw in my ride, considering the nice stuff that he has, but nonetheless, he did. And he walked over and he looked at my license plate and he said, you drove all the way from Kentucky for this show? And I said, well, it's a little more to it than that. It's the lake and the like the camping and the car show. I did know that was going on, and I want to be a part of that. And the Hernandos and the Dale Watson. So it was all of that. And I came in and Ricky said, you come inside, sit down, I'll find you a table. And I couldn't believe the hospitality was just overwhelming. And I pay attention to stuff like that. It means something to me.
Yeah.
And so Ricky set me down at a table. Again, he asked me where I wanted to sit. I said, how the heck can I know this? I've never even been here. So he sets me down at a table with Tommy Boren and Greg Boren that I didn't know.
Yeah.
And the chemistry was good. We just had good conversation.
Ricky knew that you guys would get along.
Oh yeah, I really fell into a gold mine right there, and I didn't even know it really at the time.
Yeah.
But anyway, before I went in, I was looking at some of the cars there in the show, and one of them grabbed my attention immediately because it just had a look about it that I couldn't quite explain other than to say it was very organic and it just looked very authentic and real. And I asked some guys outside about it, and I said, it looks like a Rolling Bones car. And none of those guys seemed to have a clue. They didn't know. And I go, okay, well, whatever. So I walked inside, sit down, shoot the shit with Greg and Tommy and all of them. Had a wonderful time. Yeah. Ricky bought my meal there. I couldn't believe that. And so I get ready to leave, and I go outside after all that day, and I asked Greg, then I said, so did you drive a ride here? And he said, yeah, mine's sitting right over there. And he walks out toward the Rolling Bones car. And I said, so this is your ride? And he goes, yeah, it's one I'm driving today. And I said, this looks like a Bones car. And he says, well, that's because it is. And I was like, hold on. I never do this, but I felt lightning in a bottle, at least for me. Pull out my camera and do a quick little interview then with him on the spot. I don't do that because I don't like putting people on the spot, but I felt like I need to capture that because, a few years before I'd watched that documentary 3 Mile, and I loved the production of it. I thought the camera shots were amazing.
Yeah, that's a cool.
Oh, it just was a good production. Yeah. Because I love stories traveling across country and the realness of it, not a bunch of fake drama, the realness.
Yeah.
And so to actually be there and lay hands on a Bones car and just something that was in another world to me that then was right there in front of me, it was amazing. And so that's essentially how I got here. And Ricky and all. So immediately after that, so many people here in Memphis started hitting me with friend requests on Facebook and social media. And I didn't know most of these people, but they were all car guys, so I was like, they got to be kind of cool, so I'm going to let them in. Yeah. And I just started to kind of spread around like ketchup on a sandwich. It just started spreading around and getting really good. And I met some wonderful, amazing people here. Yeah. It's kind of been, in a way, life-changing in the sense of, at least, thought process. And that's kind of what got me here today, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, go ahead.
No, I was actually... The drive down, though, you just chose this car show out of nothing, or
just the Dale Watson.
The Dale Watson thing.
Yeah.
He knew that Dale was playing that day.
Okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
I knew then that. Because I've been wanting to do the chicken shit bingo.
Right.
Okay? I've been hearing about that for a while. Number one, I wanted to do that. I also knew that sometimes they're having car shows, and somehow I found out they're having a car show on that same event.
Yeah.
And I was going to come down a week later originally, but then I heard that Dale was going back on tour because of the COVID thing was kind of loosening its grip, and he was going back on tour. And I was like, well, I got to step this up a game. Yeah. Like a week. Yeah. So I took off a week prior, and when the car show was happening, and Dale was going to be there, and I thought I'm taking my camper, and I went down and set up, and went back to my campsite after that day and stayed there for like a week.
Yeah,
and it was a really wonderful. It was like a 3 thing happened.
Yeah, Yeah, in case anybody's wondering what he's talking about, so Dale Watson owns Hernando's Hideaway, which is a 18 something.
Yeah, it's an old building.
1880s, 90s, maybe.
Yeah, something like that. And
originally a feed store, as I understand it.
I think that's right.
Yeah,
I saw a
It
picture.
was probably a
of it.
brothel at one point.
I
too.
could lie and tell you it doesn't. But
I'd say it's been a lot of things.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but a really really cool building that he restored and saved, and it's over in the area near Elvis Presley, near Graceland and stuff, and just a really cool old building and
A lot of history
and,
there.
Yeah, and we started doing cruisings in there like once a month in the summer, and that was actually, I'm trying to think, that was
around
that was
April.
that
of
was probably one of
20
the first ones that we did.
April, I'm
Yeah.
thinking 21. I believe it was. I think it was 21.
Yeah.
But I know it was in April.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And so really, really cool, cool little event. I mean, we don't
was
get
great.
we don't get a ton of cars to show up because it's in a rough part of town and stuff. But we never had any problems over there.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
It really, and that was kind of the beginning of what helped me to see the closeness of the car culture there.
Yeah.
And I will tell this, and I don't know that I really openly talked to Sean about this, but I felt a bit intimidated parking by this shiny, nice, slick-looking 55 Chevy that he has, because I also have a 55 four-door.
Yeah.
And it's not nearly what his is. And I did feel a bit intimidated, but he was very welcoming to me, and thank you so much.
Cars are cars.
Especially when I found out it used to be a Skittles car, and then I was like totally okay
Yes,
with it.
it
then.
was.
Yeah.
That-
I was like, you're in like Flynn at that point.
The pictures of that are amazing.
Yeah, so looks like Rod watches the podcast. If he
I
knows,
do.
if he knows the Skittles car,
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. All right, well, we need to talk to Matt here.
Well, hold on.
Yeah.
I thought I had something else to add, but no, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, other Matt or,
All right,
or
yeah.
Roadster Matt. Sorry.
Yeah, Roadster Matt. Now, my question is how the hell did you get involved with everybody? Because like all of a sudden you just popped up and there's this dude over there quietly working away and whatever else, and I was like, who's this guy? And they're like, other Matt, and I'm like, who the hell's other Matt?
Yeah.
Kind of by mistake. The Roadsters really what brought, I guess, me there.
Yeah.
The story of that was I was actually looking for a Pontiac at the time. I wanted a specifically 64 to 70, 72 Pontiac Le Mans Tempest.
Yeah.
And my dad sent me the ad for that Roadster. And it was posted, I think, 30 minutes before he sent it to me.
Wow.
Is this the one that you drove to the?
It is. Same one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
same one. And prior to that, I had seen a few here and there, and it was always kind of one of those in the back of my mind, like, I really want to do that, but I always thought it was something just unobtainable,
Yeah.
at least at that point in my life. But I had absolutely zero knowledge of even what it was. I knew it was a Ford. I knew it was pre-30s. So I was like, all right, it's probably pretty cool. Talked with the guy who was like 15 minutes away, ended up getting the car, got it unloaded at the house, and started looking into it and realizing I know absolutely nothing. I don't even know what engine's in it. I don't know a thing. And I think from this podcast, I
Really?
reached out to Mike because I met him probably 3 or 4 years prior whenever shop nights, I guess the first couple of times he did it,
Yeah.
I showed up there with another friend of mine.
All right.
So I loosely knew who a few people were.
Yeah.
I reached out to him originally just looking for resources, like, hey, I got this car. Like,
What do I do? Who do I
yeah,
talk to?
what are some great resources that I can look into to get knowledge of what this is and how do I not mess this up?
Yeah.
And he told me, he's like, hey, I got shop nights going on every other weekend. Stop by next week, whichever it was. And from there, just kept coming and
That's
hanging
it.
out.
And
Yeah.
then can't get rid of them.
Yeah, no, it's yeah.
By the way, I want to say that shop night is a wonderful thing that Mike does. It is a jewel and another one of those things that I refer to that together cultureness right there.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
So I'm going to kind of the Roadster.
Yeah.
When you bought that thing, you really pissed off every hot rodder in the city because you were the first guy on it, and I know Philip, man. Philip was just like heartbroken until he got to know you. He was like, oh my God, who is this young dude that bought this damn car out from under all of us?
It was, the first 2 shop nights I went to, when I first introduced myself to Mike, I was like, hey, I was the guy that was talking to you. I bought the Roadster, and he was like, you bought the Roadster? And then from then on out, every time
There was a lot of infighting before
Yeah.
that. Everybody trying to figure out who had
Yeah.
it.
every person that walked through the door, Mike would go, "Hey, remember that Roadster? This kid got it." And that's again
The
how-
Roadster Kid.
Yeah,
Right. Everybody was jealous, and we have a Facebook group, and we were all talking about it. Oh my God, did you see this? Blah blah blah, and then here Matt comes in with his damn Roadster, and here we are.
Yep, that's it. But so it's all original.
It
really?
is, yes.
Yeah.
The story that was told to me when I bought it, it was the guy's wife's. Her mother had it, and she got it from, I guess, her father, so the wife's grandfather. He bought it when he came home from World War II, and it was out in somewhere McNairy-ish part of Tennessee, somewhere between Memphis and Nashville. And it was there from mid-late 40s up until, I guess, they moved to Memphis, and it came with them. But it had been in that family ever since.
Yeah.
So he gave me, I guess it's like a shoe cobbler's piece that was going to be the gas pedal because it's kind of foot-shaped.
Okay.
But
Nice.
the story with that and the pieces that he had with it, and it is bone stock original to how pretty much her mother drove it.
Yeah.
They had stories of her apparently jumping hills in it out towards Jackson area.
Really?
Yeah, just being a kid driving a 29 Roadster around, just having fun with it. That was the story that came with the car.
And
But
it's still got the 4-banger in it and all
still
that.
the 4-banger,
Yeah.
so the 3-speed, the banjo.
So in other words, the hills that she was jumping, she was going down a hill. And then
It's getting into trying to fix some of the sheet metal of it. I mean, there's sand and dirt packed into the corners of it. Like she was getting in it. But yeah, still mechanical brakes. It is as original as it can be.
So what are you gonna leave it that way?
For the most part, it's still gonna be a 4-banger, still gonna be a 3-speed. I'm probably gonna go to hydraulic brakes because I do want to hop up the 4-banger a little bit. I got a Model B 4-banger I want to drop in it and do a little bit of hot rodding stuff to it. But I got a little Wyco mag I want to throw on it. But other than that, it's gonna be as my goal for it, period correct to maybe early 50s. If some 20 to 25-year-old kid got it, what was there, what could he get his hands on, and what would it look like? That's kind of my vision for the Roadster.
I want to say I totally respect his approach on that because, from my generation, I come from the generation of just put a V8 in everything. And I mean, that's cool, but at some point it gets a little bit done to death.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's going to leave it that way, it sends some testament to the authenticity of it.
Yeah.
And he's standing up saying, I'm going to be a little bit different than you guys.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I like that.
No offense, but that's being a kid going to car shows. That's what I saw in everything was a V8
Yeah.
or a small block Chevy.
You're
that's
right.
even more tiring to me now.
You're right.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, a Model A with a 4-banger, it's not a flathead, which flatheads are still cool. I still want to do a flathead and something, but it's just an extra level of a little bit unique that's still correct to the period.
Yeah.
To kind of add a little bit of side story here, I know you said something about a 72 Pontiac or whatever. I have a 1970 Pontiac Le Mans. That's probably the nicest car that I got. And
Wow. So you up for a trade? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, right.
I felt guilty when I bought it because all my life, and having vehicles, it's the only one I've ever just bought that was nice. I've never had that option ever.
Yeah.
But this one was at the right place at the right time, the right money, and I had the right amount of money in my pocket, and I said, I think I'm going to buy that.
Boom.
And I did, so anyway, it's a 4-door car, and it has a straight 256 cylinder. I have no desire to change that engine out. In fact, going on what you were talking about being different, one of my projects, I don't know that I'll ever get to it, but it's a wish list. I'd rather put a turbo on that 6-cylinder and see what I can squeeze out of it, and leave the 6-cylinder alone. So
Yeah.
I kind of relate to that.
That's an interesting twist.
I
Yeah,
know.
like-
I've seen some serious turbo 6-cylinders.
I like a 6-cylinder. I
Yeah.
do. I like seeing them in hot rods and different things.
Well, that way I don't really molest it, and yet it still will. Like as we say,
You can always
shit and get.
return. I was gonna say you can always return to what it was.
Yeah.
But speaking of 6-cylinders, though, you guys see there's a 65 or 6 Mustang up there, up in the nice cars up there that it has a 6-cylinder.
We're allowed up there?
Yeah. You can walk up there every now
I
and
didn't
then.
see that.
It's
Yeah,
not
no.
the one with
Yeah.
the red metal flake on it, is it?
No,
Okay.
it's original looking. It
Okay.
is original. So it's still, but it's the cleanest looking 6-cylinder Mustang. I think we were saying it's
I
silver.
respect
It's up
that.
on the side. Yeah.
Yeah, I respect that because
Very
you know
cool.
in the car culture we see so many cars. I'm gonna say especially like the Tri-5s or any of them Camaros, and we see so many with the V8s today. Okay,
Yeah.
but the reality was most of those cars came with the 6-cylinder.
Oh yeah. That's mine. Mine came with 6-cylinder. I wish I had kept it. It's actually landfill someplace down here down in Pontotoc.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we had an erosion issue going on, and there was some stuff that just needed to be piled
That's
in
what
there.
you used?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
I've done that once with a Corvette front cowl, the whole firewall. It was burned up, and I cut it off and you used it to plug up a ditch so it wouldn't get any more wash out of it.
Wow.
It's still there.
Wow.
There's somebody in Pontotoc right now going like, what? With a
That's where that
metal
came from.
detector going, what is this?
So, guys, I've been asking everybody what's your favorite car at the show.
Oh, I haven't looked that much, so I like them all, and I don't know that I can give you an honest answer on that.
Okay. Well, what about you, Roadster Matt?
Probably that Roadster pickup.
Yeah.
That is-
yeah. I
the
get
one
it.
up here on this
Oh
side.
yeah, the winner's quick change in the rear. Yeah, that thing's pretty
Buick
rad.
with the Buick motor in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a strange
that one.
choice, man, but it's
Right.
cool.
Yeah. That's one of them different things.
Yeah, to me, the whole combination of it, it fits for it. Like you were saying, organic. I think it has the salt flat wheels on
Yeah,
it with the
yeah.
winner's quick change.
Yeah.
The Buick, it's different enough, but it all still fits in it.
Yeah.
So speaking of salt flats, that is the latest thing that we're all discussing. As far as what happens this year at Bonneville, and I know George Poteet, this might be his last year, and everybody's talking about going. And Matt, you have kind of laid the gauntlet down, bud.
Yeah, I have a specific goal now. I want to put my Roadster on the salt.
Oh.
I want to do that this year.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Yeah, you might as well do that before you take it apart, because you're gonna have to take it apart after getting it out there.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, guys, I appreciate you guys stopping in, man. Yeah,
appreciate it.
it's awesome, and thanks for coming to help. I'm gonna try to drag Joel over here in a little while and have him talk about the car. But if you guys didn't know what was going on behind us, we're at the World of Custom
Oh yeah,
show.
we never said that. And they're probably like, what is all this
what
noise?
Well, I've popped in with some of the live feed from that thing. So if you look at the car we're doing now, I mean, it is a 49 Buick we've been chopping, and Rod and Matt have actually been gracious enough to come hang out with us and help us chop this car and actually make it look cool, man. So, yeah, we appreciate you guys coming and hanging and helping out.
Absolutely. I appreciate the hospitality. I kind of follow behind Greg and do what he asked me to do, and
Yeah.
but I also know when to try to keep my distance and say we don't need 5 guys with 5 opinions. We need to just let the dude figure out what to do.
Exactly.
So,
exactly. Well, guys, appreciate you coming out, and thanks for coming on the show.
Absolutely.
And thanks for having us.
See
Thanks
you
for the
guys.
hospitality.
Get back to work.
Over and out. Bye-bye.
Bye. And man, we got a special guest, one of my good buddies here, and this should be a big laugh fest. Alan Hutchison, of all sorts of fame. He's the most famous person in Tupelo.
Local celebrity.
local celebrity.
I have my own waffles at Huddle House. They're called Hollywood Hutch. I mean, Huddle House.
No way.
Do they really? I just said HH, so everybody calls me Hollywood Hutch.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I totally I believe that. I believe that 100%.
So I was gonna. How I know Hutch? Okay, my first meeting with Hutch was at our show when we were putting Matt's car together, and we were getting ready to basically put the shifter in the that transmission that Matt had, and Hutch overheard me say something, and I was getting ready to make just a horrible mistake with his transmission. And Hutch bailed me out. I'd never met him before, and he came over and spent like 10 minutes with us.
I just thought somebody had tripped and it was just laying there.
No, Hutch, he bailed me out of a jam, man. So I was about to make a mistake.
I was watching pretty hard. I said, I'm not sure they know what's going on over there.
You were right. You were right. We did not.
I said, let me look at this.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I saw Matt a couple of weeks ago at Nashville.
Yeah.
At the swap meet. I've only met him one time. And I remember most people. He come up to me, "Hey, Hutch, how you doing?" I said, "You know, I'm always nice. I try to be nice to anybody I see. Hi, how you doing?" Next aisle, he sees me again. Said, "You know who I am?" I said,
No, not at all.
I really hate to say it, but I really don't. He said, "You work on my transmission?" I said, "Man, I know you are now."
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'll never forget him now.
Exactly. So Hutch, you've got wait, Hardy, you brought your Ford here, didn't you?
Yes, sir. I brought my 6.5 race cars.
Okay. And are you racing that car?
I am, absolutely. I campaigned it last year for the first time. I got it from George Poteet, and he bought that car in 2014. We were at the FE race in Pennsylvania, and I've been drag racing since I was 13 years old. I'm 51 now. I've still got my first car, first truck. I've got a 51 Ford truck, a 67 Mustang that I bought when I was a kid. But he bought that in 2014. I said, "Hey, did you buy me a race car?" So I guess I did. And
Nice.
I've tried to buy it from him ever since. He never would price it to me. We made a pretty good deal last year, and he wound up letting me have it. And I campaigned it last year, got runner-up in Pennsylvania, semifinals at Bowling Green with it. And
Wow.
I'm
You
loving
were
it.
all over the place
I'm loving it.
last
So,
year with
yeah.
it.
Man, you're on the road with that damn thing.
Raced at Indy, Pennsylvania, Bowling Green. This year I'm planning on going to Rockingham, St. Louis. So
Nice.
running the MCA circuit.
Dig that. Well, I know that Mike Abbott did some work for you, so
I
I'll
got
have to
Mike
throw
do the-
pictures.
I took it to Bowling Green in June for the hot rod reunion, and the tech guy says, "Well, it had a stock gas tank. I put a fuel cell and a roll bar in it. I just, in case I roll over, I do it like to be safe. I don't want to roll over, I don't want to be safe." And I get up there, and he said, "If you hadn't put the roll bar in the fuel cell, you'd been fine, but the back seat wouldn't pass tech." He said, "You got to have a firewall."
Oh.
I said, "Well, Mike's the metal man, so I'm going to go see Mike." And then Mike sends me pictures. I said, "Nah, just do whatever you want to. If you can put a Ford oval in it, just joking with him, it'd be awesome." He sends me a picture of a Ford oval that he made it. And I said, "You have a stamp?" He said, "No." I said, "There ain't no way you beat Roll Daddy." So that was easier than the pockets.
Wow.
So he did an awesome job on my firewall and a headrest for it, because everything I put in it changed the rules for me.
Wow. Well, I'm absolutely going to post pictures of it because it's super neat.
That's the first time I ever met Mike. I love Mike to death.
Wow.
I talked to him on the internet, but I never met him in person. I brought my car to him, and so
Well, good. That's awesome, man. Yeah, that's our very own Mike Abbott is
Yep,
actually a pretty
yep.
skilled metal guy.
Yep.
So
I
absolutely.
had heard, man, Mike's really, really high. You don't use Mike. I said, when he got done with it, I tipped him. I said, that was a lot less than I thought it was going to be.
Wow.
Well, he's independently wealthy too. You know, so.
Yeah, Mike just does it for the fun of it.
That's right.
It's funny.
But
Well-
he's very talented. I'm very happy. Everybody has really loved the work. I was going to paint it. I said, it looks too good to paint. I'm not messing with that.
Right. I'm with you. So
So the next when I went
you
to,
guys don't have one of these.
I don't. What is that?
Yeah, that's. I can't tell the story about that on the podcast. It'd be X-rated because it includes Bob Johnson. But,
Oh no.
I introduced our friend Daryl Nelson in Chicago to Bob Johnson in Bonneville, and Bob is known as MF and Bob. And
Oh wow.
so I introduced him to Daryl, and it was about 5 minutes of Bob cussing, and he talked to his wife on the phone and just cussed her out on the phone. And when he got done talking to us, he says, "See you in a week, love you." And we got in the truck, and Daryl said, "Man, you know some really unique characters. Let's welcome to the club." And right after that, the Hutch Club started. He had
Nice.
cards made up.
Yes. And you know, it's an exclusive membership that gets you no rewards whatsoever.
Awesome, man.
They say it scrapes ice really good. It'll open locked doors.
Wow.
Yeah.
It looks like a credit card, man.
Right? Oh, it is.
Okay, it's not just a business card.
Oh, no,
is it?
it's a
No.
credit card.
And we'll
Wow.
go places, and Daryl will give it to the waitress to try to pay for
Wow.
the meal.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a total thing. Like whenever you go someplace, you give them the Hutch card and take
Wow.
pictures and trying to figure out how to.
There's a few celebrities have those cards. Ken Digg has one.
Yeah.
Steve Bailey has one. I mean,
Tom Bailey.
Tom Bailey has one.
Wow.
Lee Holman has one. Lee's proud of his from Holman Moody.
Yeah,
Every
yeah.
time Zach goes to Pennsylvania, Lee gets a picture with his card.
Man, I'm jealous, man.
I know. See,
Sean was one of the original members. So
Wow.
he paid for it, but he
Right.
was one of the original
Yeah.
members.
yeah.
That is awesome.
Well,
He pays a monthly fee.
yeah. I was gonna say.
He's the only one that does it.
Yeah. Daryl had to have some way to pay for him. So you know, yeah.
I want to tell a quick story about the first time we took Sean to Bonneville.
Oh, please.
We got out there, and Sean likes to drink beer. Everybody knows that. And none of our group drank any beer. And I think Sean bought like 5 cases of beer. And
there were like 20 people, 25 people. So I'm like, well, we're there for 4 days. So,
Sean bought like 4 or 5 cases of beer and like 3 dozen powdered donuts. And we ate a lot of the donuts, but we didn't drink the beer. I think Daryl drank 1 or 2 just to make you feel better. Yeah. So we had like 2 dozen donuts left on the way back to the airport. Well, my buddy Zach Straits, he's Sean's best employee. He don't get paid, and he works for free, but he's the best employee.
Yeah, Zach is right now at Detroit Autorama, so a lot of the stuff that you see posted on
he's missing out on all the fun.
That's right, isn't he?
So we're headed back to the airport, the 100-mile drive from Wendover back to Salt Lake City, and we're sitting here with like 2 dozen powdered donuts. I love Zach like a brother.
Good Lord, that one's loud. In case anybody's wondering, we didn't say what we're doing, but they're chopping the top on the car right now, and of course Mike has to hit the
sawzall
thing. Yeah.
So Zach's my brother from another mother. That's what I tell him.
Right. Should we just hang on a second?
I tell Zach he's my brother from another mother. But anyway, we're driving down the road, and 80 mile per hour is the speed limit. I said, I wonder what a powdered donut would do if it hits the windshield. So we roll the window down. It was just a huge cloud of dust. We're like little kids on South Park. We're just laughing our butts off.
Yeah, because we're in the front car, right? And we're like pull forward, like because they're thinking, they want to. They need to say something or whatever.
Right,
So we pull them up, Yeah. And
We start rapid fire.
Zach rolls down. Zach rolls down the window. And we're like, just chunking them, and they're just bouncing off that rental car. And he's like.
So if you ever get a chance, throw a powdered donut to somebody. It's hilarious.
Okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
Well, when I was and this is going to sound horrible, but when I grew up small town in Mississippi, that was kind of our thing, is to ride down the road and hit signs and mailboxes with bottles.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And
but you tear things up with that powdered donut, ain't gonna hurt a thing. But it sure is funny to watch.
I know. My brother-in-law, man, was he could do it from the driver's seat and hit signs on the passenger side.
My dad drew papers as a kid.
Yeah,
he taught me how to do it. Now,
it's got to be a Mississippi thing.
I guess so.
I grew up in Coldwater, so yeah, that's the deal.
That's hilarious, man. No, that was so much fun. We ended up calling that group Rolling Donuts.
Sure did. I almost wore the shirt today.
Did you? we have shirts made up say Rolling Donuts on them.
Man, all this Bonneville stuff. You guys are having the time of your life, man.
Well, we have so many donuts that somebody took a bite of one, and then somebody asked me questions. Well, you ever eat with a donut in your mouth? So then everybody has to take a donut and try to talk. And Zach videos everything.
Yeah. So we were doing that with beer. You had a beer. You take a bite of a donut, and then you take a swig of beer, and then you have to try and talk.
Yeah. I just held the beer up.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's
goofy
super
stuff
cool.
like that. We wasted a lot of beer. We also made like 6. I don't know. They were military guys. I think that we made them super happy because we always, when we go out there, we buy a tent, buy some chairs and whatever else. And we all fly out there. So what are you going to do with them? So these guys had just gotten there when we were leaving, and we had all that beer, all the chairs, whatever else, and they had just pulled up next to us. We were getting ready to leave the area that we were sitting at, and we were like, "Hey guys, you want some beer?" And they're like, "Yeah." Like, how about some chairs and a tent and whatever? They're like, "Dude, this is awesome."
We gave a lot of that beer to Troy Trepannier's crew. They really liked it too.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah. Now you did tell them it's from me, right?
I did.
Like,
I did.
But
we got there and we got a tent given to us. We had chairs. When the people were leaving, we got their tent. So we were like heroes. We gave the tent to somebody.
Oh, man. Well, good for you, man. Good for you. So
we had a lot of fun. So.
It looks like we're trying to go to Bonneville this year.
Bonneville's awesome.
Yeah. It's a bucket list.
We went to the boat races last year. So I took my friend Jeff Burns Racing Engines. He's always wanted to go. So we took him last year, and it started raining on Friday night. It was knee deep Saturday morning, and called it off. And I said, Jeff, it's all your fault. It's never rained this much till you came.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been there when it rained.
Yeah. Well, it's rained every time I've been there. Yeah. It just never flooded.
Yeah. I got you. Well, Matt, I mean, you were the one that was called off, right?
Yeah. I went, I don't know if it was 2015 or 16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't it 2 years in a row? Or was it?
Yeah,
was just one?
I think it was 15 and 16 that got canceled.
Yeah.
I think it might have been 16 when I was heading out there.
13, I think, got rained out. 14 or 15 got rained out because I think 14's the year George wrecked. And the salt was really bad that year, and that's one of the big factors of the wreck.
Oh, okay.
So,
Gotcha.
Yeah, so when I went out there, it was like 6 inches of water all the way across.
Yep.
I was driving by myself out there, and got about 2 hours from there, and they canceled it. And you're this close, you might as well drive in, which is cool because down at the Nugget, there's still a car show going on.
There's a car show every night at the Nuggets.
Yeah, there's people everywhere.
And if you like Bones car, that's a bunch of those cars.
Oh,
the Bones
absolutely.
brings like 20 cars. There's actually a video on Amazon Prime called 3 Mile.
3 Mile,
It's about the Bones and the 56 car that George had was in that video.
Yeah.
They were robbing parts off it to put on somebody else's.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, man, that out of everything that he has, and that's a pretty specific car. You know, I just it's on my phone. It's the desktop on my phone. That car is. So yeah,
There's a guy in Phoenix named Frenchie DeHoy. He's well known for restoring Volkswagens, and they call him Dr. Detail. He paints all of his cotter pins and everything. And
wow.
He came to visit the farm, and he said, "I want to see the Bones car." That was his, and I took him for a ride in it while I was there, and he had helped us build the Toyota pet for the Tupelo Museum. When the Toyota came in, I was on the crew that we restored the Toyota pet.
Okay.
For that. So.
Wow. That's amazing. Let's talk about that.
The Toyota?
It was a 1957 Toyota pet. It was actually Toyota, DA, like Yoda in the Star Wars.
Yeah.
But when Toyota was coming to Mississippi, when they built the Blue Springs plant, the city of Tupelo wanted to do something to commemorate it. So they searched around and found the first year that Toyota was imported in the United States was 1957. And it looks kind of like a miniature 57 Chevrolet. They were pretty neat cars. You could hand crank them and stuff like that. And they found one up in California that a Prince had. And it was sitting in a warehouse. It was real low mileage. Got it shipped over here. And Frenchie had restored a Toyota Pet before. It was a Crown.
Yeah.
And so Frenchie come down and kind of overseen it. We had a guy paint it. And we did all the mechanical here. And when they opened all the Toyota plants, we would take it around. We would.
I know, man. I'm sorry.
we drove the presidents of the company around. We weren't even supposed to be around them, and we drove the presidents of the company around and some of the executives around, driving around the plants and stuff. And Mr. Toyota, the grandson of the guy that started Toyota, came to Tupelo.
Wow!
And he got in the car and he said, "I remember these cars," and we hadn't bled the brakes yet. We just had it out there for their dinner. Well, he cranks it up in gear and takes off inside the museum.
Whoa! Wow.
The CDF has the car now. I don't know where it's on display right now. It wasn't in the museum until the museum closed. But they was going to take it around to Toyota dealerships and put it in their showroom, but I don't know where the car is now. So, pretty neat car.
I need to find pictures of that. Yeah, I'm sure they are.
The deal they had when they came over here, they'd sell them to you, and they weren't very expensive. And if you didn't like them, you could ship them back. It had a money back guarantee.
Oh wow!
So a lot of people didn't like them. They were pretty unique vehicles.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people didn't like them. They shipped them back. So they got boatloads of these Toyota Pets. So what do we do with them? So we don't want them back. Just push them off in the ocean. So they just pushed them off the boat, and a lot of them are in the bottom of the ocean.
Wow!
We were needing a huff cap. I said, we need a scuba diver.
Wow! So I guess you ended up having to make some one-off hubcaps for it?
No, we actually found the set. eBay. We actually found the car on eBay also. So,
wow! It's amazing.
It's a neat little car. So.
I love stuff like that.
I enjoyed being on the team. That was pretty cool. So.
I'm not a Toyota guy, but I get it, man. I get it.
I guess I'm a Mitsubishi guy now. I work for Mitsubishi.
Yeah, right. So Hutch, are you got anything going right now as far as what you're building?
I'm building my '67 Mustang that I bought when I'm 51 years now, and I bought it when I was 15. It was my first car.
Wow.
And I drove it to high school, college, started drag racing it, and drag raced it for many years. Well, then I got a 61 Starliner autocross. I love the autocross, but my Mustang's half the size and half the weight. I think it'll be a little faster.
Yes,
maybe.
Zach Rogers from Rogers Rodworks, that helps sponsor this show here, he has my car, and we flared the fenders, mini tubbed it, and doing a full paint and body and just basically a third rebuild on it since I've had it. And,
Wow.
So just a teetotal change this time. Hoping it'll be done next year.
Okay, we'll maybe see it at this show next year.
Maybe so.
Gotcha.
It's good.
So this is like a normal. This is in your backyard. So
It is.
This
I'm
is
like
your
10
show.
miles away, so yeah.
Yeah.
This is where I get to see a lot of my friends. I don't get to see a lot. So.
Yeah. This is a great show.
It is. It's a good show. I really enjoy it. Harold does a really good job with it, getting promoting it, getting people in, and
I've been here one time before. Mike did he chopped another car here,
Right, right.
a few years back, and I came and hung out with him for a day.
I didn't know Mike then, but I remember watching. It's like, man, that's a lot of work in 2 days.
I know. And here we are.
I get tired watching.
Yes, I know. And here we are. But yeah, this is a great show. It's the World of Customs in Tupelo, Mississippi. If you guys are in the neighborhood or close, today's the last day, so you're probably not going to make it today.
Got till 3 o'clock.
Yeah, till 3 o'clock. But next year, man, keep this one in mind. I mean, it's not that far from our Memphis people to drive down. A lot of our buddies showed up at it. It is a great show. High-end cars, really a good selection of stuff here. So we've all been asking, what is your favorite car here? And it can't be yours. Obviously that's it. But what's your favorite walk around?
Oh my God, Sean's sitting here, and I can't say it with Sean sitting here.
Oh my gosh! Dare I ask?
I don't have my car here.
It's the blue. Oh no, that would never be my favorite.
Yeah.
We dog each other out about our cars.
Amen.
I said, he starts talking about us. You got side bike, man. Just don't say anything.
Oh my gosh!
I was like, dude.
I guess my favorite car that I've seen since I've been here is that blue '66 Chevy 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't believe it didn't make the top 3. That car is just amazing. Whoever built that car,
Wow.
I know it had a Steve Holcomb interior in it, and
Yeah.
it was built over in Alabama somewhere. But that car is it's a really high end car, really really nice car, and it grabbed my attention. So,
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
I'm a car guy.
Sure.
Yeah.
We do a thing at the Blue Suede Cruise, which is our big show in May.
Yeah.
And I'm on a crew that picks the best car at the show. There's 5 of us. We go out and we pick our favorite, or not our favorite, but our best car. And we come back and we vote, and we all vote on the same car. That's the best car, and they win $500. Well, the first year we did it, some of your buddies come up from Meridian, and I picked a 55 Chevy and a 69 Camaro and stuff like that. And I said, "You're a Ford guy. Why are you picking Chevys?" I said, "You told us to pick the best car, not our favorite car." Mm-hmm. And I'm a car guy. When I see quality, I like quality, and that Chevy 2 is high quality.
It is.
Yeah. I didn't realize that I was a Barracuda fan.
I love them.
Until
they're awesome.
This 66 up here, this blue one, it's like 3 cars away from
the one
us.
right here.
Well, and Sean and I had I guess a discussion. He said, "Well, the stance is not right." I'm a child of the '80s. That stance is perfect.
It's perfect for a
You look at the
Mopar.
back of Sean's car.
Yeah.
Oh,
There he goes
Oh
again.
my gosh!
He goes again.
What is Miata?
The stance is perfect on the Miata.
Yeah, right.
I wear a Miata. I can't even drive one. I wear a Miata.
Wow. We finally get to see that car. Sean's got a new garage, and it's finally around. So
I've seen the pictures of his new garage. Now he says he's going to expand. The man's got a huge garage. He got too much junk. That's his problem.
I think that's the deal, man.
No, it's not huge. I thought it was huge.
course-
I thought 30 by 40 was huge. I was
course
like,
he is
oh,
a-
I'll put a lift in there. I'll put in all these cars and da-da-da.
Of course, he is a photographer. He knows how to make things look different.
Yeah.
Thing look like it's a 60 by 80.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how big the slot car track is. That's
Yeah.
That's true.
Was that slot car track in Ripley, Mississippi at one time?
No, it was in Metropolis, Illinois.
Okay.
Home of Superman.
There was a place in Ripley that had drag cars and a slot car track.
Yeah.
And there was one in Virginia in Stanton where Zach lives. We went up there and Zach had drag cars and he had a little scrambler he'd built. And I went up there. I'm starting betting money. I mean, we put $20 on this. Now, who's going to get the best light? I love to I got some friends I go to fights with. And we put $1 on it. I don't know who's fighting. But I put
Right.
$1. You think I'm the biggest fan in the world. I'm hollering up, kick his butt. You know, and I don't even know who he is. I got $1 bet on it.
Right.
Like wrestling and stuff.
Well, that's how we bet. We had, I think we talked about it yesterday. We had a little contest. We had written all the rules on the back of this car we're chopping about when Sean would get here. And everybody
When he would wake up.
Yes, everybody picked time. So
Did you see the numbers on the back of it?
No, I didn't
If
see
you
it yet.
Look on the back sale panel.
yeah, of when he was going to show up.
Now, I'd like to promote something if that's okay.
Please, yeah, absolutely.
Every year I do a charity fun day at Holly Springs Drag Strip. And we raise money for Camp Light in Virginia. You know, Sean and I are really big on supporting that. And, the last 2 or 3 years, we've raised $4,000 to $6,000 on that fun day.
Excellent.
And last year we got snowed out and still raised $4,000.
Wow.
And people are very generous. And I've always done it in February or March, trying to do it before the show season starts. But we wanted to move it because the weather's been bad. So this year we got it for April 23rd. It's going to be on a Sunday instead of a Saturday. We have a drag race, autocross, swap meet, about anything automotive you could want. And we always have people come from Virginia, Illinois, Pennsylvania. They come from all over for that.
I like a swap meet.
And we just call it Fun Day.
Okay.
And you can run as many as you want. I've already got 2 grudge races set up, one for $20 and one for maybe $1,000.
And I'm like, you're the one grudge racing. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's excellent, man. That's not a trek for us at all. So we're going to come.
Sean's band, he's bought the Miata. I don't call it a race car, but he bought the Miata.
Golly, okay. Now let's back up.
It's a race car because it always wins.
Hold on, Sean. I used to think it was just us that gave him such a hard time until I see some of his other buddies, and here we are, man. How does this happen to you?
Well, they still can't beat the Miata though. That's the thing. Is
I gotcha.
He could have picked a better car though.
But his Miata would fit in my trunk.
Yes.
Yeah.
That Miata was $1,000.
Wow, really?
Yeah. We bought that for $1,000. I put $500 in, and Chris Johnson put $500 in.
Well, man, you've had $1,000 worth of fun in that thing. Easy.
We went to the first event, and it was like, we're probably gonna blow it up, but whatever. And this damn thing keeps on running, like it just keeps running. And after the first event, Chris and I were swapping driving. Each session and stuff. That car ran. I mean, so all total that weekend, it sat at $7,000 for probably 2 hours. There was one point where it was about probably 2 hours straight where one of us was out there on the track. And it just kept on going. The brakes didn't fade.
Is it still on the same motor?
Yes. 198,000 miles on this car.
That says a lot.
Dog crap.
That says a lot.
Of course, it's only pulling 800 pounds, so
Right.
Well, now he's 2,300. But no, I mean, like we thought. After the first event, we were like, if we blow it up, we'll put an LS in it or whatever, and I've thought about, I really did think about LS swapping it.
Yeah.
But I've had so much fun with it. I'm like, I don't need more power. Like, I've got 2 other cars that have a lot of power.
Well, didn't you reckon me out with LS?
Yeah. No. Well, no. I didn't wreck that one. I just spun it out.
I bet that would be a handful.
I spun it out.
Such a short car.
Yeah.
With power.
Yeah, and that was my thing. Is like they say that doing that swap is only changes it just a little bit, but any kind of weight that you get over the nose on one of those, then it causes issue after that. So, but I don't really want to go faster. I don't. Like, the thing is so fast in the corners. I don't need to go faster down the straightaways. It's it's not worth it. But
It serves a purpose and it serves it well. So I get it.
Yeah.
Just drive it and have fun.
It's a damn good drift car.
Really?
Like, dude,
well, that's not really what you're trying to do with it.
No.
So what does that say?
No,
It drifts when Zach drives it.
Oh, yeah.
No, it just spins out when Zach drives it. So, yeah, Zach's driven it a few times. I don't think there's a Miata that Zach has driven that he has not spun out.
That's right.
Wow.
So, yeah, but see, he brought he brought the big gun when he came last year.
Oh, the Focus RS.
Yeah, Focus RS. And he thought he was going to beat me, and he still didn't. So,
wow.
He had 4-wheel drive. That thing weighs like 4,000 pounds or something. They're heavy.
See, I want to take my wife's car. She's got that Durango RT all-wheel drive.
Oh, yeah.
I think it would be great.
Bring it to Fun Day.
I say be really good when it rolls over.
Go. Well, yeah,
You make 100 laps if you want to.
I destroy the family car at Fun Day. That'd be great.
I'll tell you what, that is one
It's
thing.
for charity, though.
Yeah, it's for charity.
It's all for
we don't
charity.
need it.
Yeah.
Our Fun Day, our Corvette Club, our local Corvette Club, they have the timing equipment. and they like long tracks. I had to calm them down. The good guys' courses are set up for novelists, then they're, 30, 40, 50 mile per hour the fastest. The Corvette Club, they set their crack up. You're running 80, 90 mile per hour. So look, we got to slow this down a little bit. We're just out here having fun. But even in my 61, I'm running like 70 when I go in the first turn.
Wow.
It's
Guys,
fun.
I'm in. That sounds awesome.
Oh, it's a blast, man. I'll tell you what. I'll have the Miata.
I've hooked a bunch of folks from my star.
If you can fit in it, you can drive
Really?
it.
Okay.
Yeah, Zach, I took him for a ride in Columbus, Ohio, and he was screaming like a little schoolgirl all the way around the track. Then he turned around and bought a car. And,
Nice.
I got another friend named Grant Huckel. I took him for a ride. They went and bought a Cobra. And
I was going to say, you want to talk about somebody who went overboard.
Yeah,
that was great.
Now they bought a little Mustang coupe. They've flared the fenders. It's full cage. They're going all out racing with this car.
It is a cool looking car, man. That thing is awesome.
And when you see it come back out the next time, you're going to think it's been repainted, bigger wheels, fenders flared. It's got 550 horsepower now. It's going to be a whole nother world.
Nice. I get it, man. I get it.
Look at that guy.
Well, Hutch, thank you for stopping in, man.
Yes, sir.
Hey, at some point, let's do a whole episode.
All right. Can I rest? If we how long is the episode? An hour?
Yeah, something
Can
like
I
that.
do 45 minutes? We're resting and showing.
Please, we'll all get on
I don't
board.
think I'll be there that day.
He's gonna call it sick.
Yeah, I'm going to call it sick.
If you can
Got the
get
Hutch pneumonia.
we'll bring Mike and Javier back in here, and
Oh, yeah.
we'll just stand
We'll
on
have
him
some
all
fun.
day.
Oh, yeah. No
I don't know what
doubt.
I'll talk about for an hour, but I can probably
whatever.
come up with something.
Yeah, okay, George. What
We
did
can
you
at least
say?
dog Zach out for 20 minutes.
Yeah, right.
We got 2 hours out of George, so
Yeah, we did. Shocking.
we could probably get 4 out of you.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a 4-part Hutch series.
I'm like Ulysses McGill and Oh Brother Walter. I kind of got the gift of gab.
Okay, yeah, perfect, man. Perfect.
Enjoyed it today, guys.
Well, thank you, Hutch. Have a great one, buddy.
All right, thank you.
Bye, guys.
Was that loud enough?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, we're good, man.
Yeah.
Welcome everybody to the Hot Rod Blues podcast. Sean Brereton here with Sean Young.
Hey.
Got Mike Abbott sitting over there, and we have a special guest. Mike, I'll let you introduce.
Yeah, that's right. This is our special guest, William. And you said your last name was what?
Milstead.
Milstead.
Yes, sir.
We met William yesterday. And
The main attraction over there.
Weren't you?
that's
Lord?
right. That's exactly right.
Bill.
Yeah. And how did our conversation start, William?
It was about Ed Big Daddy Roth, if you ever know him. He built this kooky little weird version of the Mickey Mouse, and he hated it so much he built the Get Back, and he revenged it, but with the rat Fink.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah.
And we met about talking about. I said, "Hey, I remember you. You're from up there on stage." And then I met him, and then we just started chit-chatting, flapping the gums.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
No doubt.
Yeah, and you told me your favorite Roth car was what?
The Beatnik Bandit.
That's right.
If you never heard of it, look up the Beatnik Bandit, and it is all so sweet.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So we gotta say, William is 9 years old.
Yep, 9 years old.
Yep. And he is a car fanatic.
Yep.
Yep. And the big thing for us is that you're into old stuff. You're into really cool building and chopping and doing all sorts of stuff like that, aren't you?
I'm not too crazy about today's stuff. I'm interested back in the old 50s.
Yeah.
Yes. Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
I'm with you.
Amen.
I'm with you.
Yes,
I think
amen.
we're all like that too. Yes, indeed.
Yes, we are.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
So, William, how did you start liking these? Who started showing you cars? How did you get into it?
Well, I was about 3 when I was little. My grandpa bought an old jalopy car. It still ran, but it didn't look so good. So he painted it up, and when I got a little older and knew what rat rods were, this was my first car show right here.
Yeah.
Wow,
When
that's
he
your
was
first one.
3.
And I
When he
saw-
was 3.
Wow.
And it was a little rat rod right there that had the rat Fink on it. And a few years later, I was 8 years old, and I said, "Big Daddy, who is that little green rat?" And he said, "That's the rat Fink, boy."
Is that what you call your granddad, Big Daddy?
Yep.
I like it. That's awesome.
Wow.
Very cool.
So
Yeah.
so you haven't had you don't own your first car yet. What's your first car gonna be?
Falcon.
A Falcon, really?
That gasser over there, that old gasser Falcon, I'll have the same model as that.
Heck
Wow.
yeah. I like that one, man. Yeah. But don't do that. That's going to echo through there. Everybody be hearing that. Got that tap on the table. Go ahead.
So what kind of car do you ride around in? What kind of car did you tell me about when we were over there talking? You were talking about
66 Chevy 2 Nova.
that's right. It's a wagon.
Yeah, station wagon.
Super cool.
Hot rod black.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
I think that's the same one that Sean was looking at, right?
Huh, me?
Yeah.
I'm there?
I think so.
Oh, not here.
Oh, not
It's
here.
not here. I don't think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what else are you interested in? You're interested in cars. You're interested in rat paint.
Yeah.
You like pinstriping at all? Yeah.
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 I never got to because I don't have that my hand just shakes a little.
That's okay. That's okay. You can steady that out.
Hey, we know a pinstriper who he shook a lot, but when he held the pinstriping brush,
It was super
just
calm.
dead easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's just something about like having that special little like I can't remember what they call it. There's actually a name for it, but like dentists will get it as
Yeah.
well, right? Like dentists a lot of times can be shaky.
Yeah.
And then when they have to go to do what they do, it's all calm and
That's
whatever.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. You can do anything. You
Heck
can do
yeah.
pinstriping. We did a little metal work yesterday. What kind of metal work did we do yesterday?
Well, when I talked about the rat fink, he already was working on things, and he puts the rat fink sign on steel, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then flat steel, and he'll put the rat fink on it, but he was just fixing to start on the F.
Yep.
And then when he heard about me, he taught me about the roller, and that's how I got interested in iron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Doing
Okay.
bead rolling.
Yep,
Yep.
first I thought building things were hard out of metal, but when you have the right tools, it just
That's
right.
right.
abracadabra.
That's right.
That's right.
No
That's
doubt.
exactly right. That's exactly right. So when you first asked me to help, you told me, do you have anything that needed to be bolted, right? Because you knew how to bolt stuff real good.
Yep.
Yeah. And you told me the key to bolting stuff was what?
Righty tighty, lefty loosey.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So
I still haven't learned that, by the way.
he's like
Just
he's
talk
like
to my dad.
He's like 73 years old and don't know how to do that. You're way ahead of the game. Way ahead of the game.
Definitely.
Yeah. What else you want to talk about?
Well, I did want to talk about, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
Talking to the bike. You got it, buddy.
Yeah.
Well, we're fixing to go visit and if you come over to Steel Rose in Tennessee, and that's where they build the cars that they're building right now. That's all that beating, banging, and
That's what's going on.
that's what's going on. They have a little card thing where they like to have an old jalopy at the car show, and then it takes 3 days. They have to get it done in 3 days.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Yep, they have to take, like right now they're taking a 4-door into a 2-door,
Yep.
and
Yep.
they're chop topping it. Ain't that right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
exactly right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So William, I have a question. Do any of your buddies at school, are they into cars or?
I don't go to school. I homeschool.
He's a
okay.
homeschool.
My daughter, she homeschools, so I got you.
Yeah.
But do any of your friends, are they into cars at all?
Said you go to Sunday school or
Nope,
any of the
they're
Sunday?
interested in dinosaurs and stuff. I'm the rat rod kid. I'm the iron kid. Probably.
Okay.
Probably
Yeah.
the only kid that I play with that has myself, and
Wow.
they think they have to be like everyone else, but I don't think that. I see it different.
Yeah.
I understand.
Absolutely.
You do.
And my grandpa said, my big daddy said that when the first time I started talking, I never stopped. He said that I never shut up.
Well, that's okay. I'm glad. I'm glad.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
If you were just quiet sitting over there, then you probably wouldn't have been up there actually doing stuff.
That's
know?
exactly right.
Yep.
You talking and being willing to come and talk to me is the reason why you got to do some work yesterday.
That's why I got to do some work yesterday.
Yeah, that's how we became friends. Is you talking? So that's good. That's good.
Good.
That's awesome.
Good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Well, dig it. So your mom said she's going to bring you up to the shop one day and visit the shop, huh?
Yep. We're gonna me and him plan to get a Falcon, and we're gonna turn it into a gasser.
Nice.
Heck yeah.
Oh, yeah, good for you.
Double engine, one in the back and one in the front.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
All right.
There you
That's
go.
what I'm talking
Now
about.
you got your work cut out.
Double wheelie bars,
Yeah.
exhaust coming out, and it looks like all the way from the front all the way to the back, and looking like this.
Yeah. I like it. I
Some
like
big
it.
old zoomies on there.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, you got anything else you want to say before we go?
Well, if you never came down to the auto shop, the thing where they build
Show.
cars,
Steel Rose.
Steel Rose, come down and if you have a kid that likes to talk to, like me, and they interested in metal, you'll have them working in the garage.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
They'll be working in a garage all the day.
That's right. That's right. Well, William, it's been fantastic.
Yes.
We're gonna close down the podcast and then we're gonna get back to work. We got a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
I got a little-
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, William.
I
Good
appreciate
job.
it.
Thanks, buddy.
Bye.
Bye.